Assalamualaikum everyone. I'm your host GoPro Bro and welcome to the Creative Center. This is Log number 0x0D and today we will be talking about India's victory. It is a great night for Indian cricket. Indian cricket has arrived at this point over the course of a couple of decades. Since the inception of IPL and the procession of its seasons and the improvement of the quality of its game, its players, its infrastructure, everything around Indian cricket has been an example for the rest of the world. To be honest, this has been a long time coming. A decades-long system is behind it that promotes merit over anything else. And this victory feels expected and normal rather than a one-odd chance or something of an upset. No, this Indian cricket team is the best white ball team in the world right now, and in T20s they are by far the best. There are 11 match winners in that team. Half of the team is capable of being the captains themselves. Any one of them can win your team the match, and this thing is distributed all around the players. It is not just that only the batsmen will win you games or only the bowlers will win you games. No, it is a great mix of all kinds of players. Like in batting, any one of the top 5-6 can come and win you the game. In all-rounders, Aksar is the spin bowling all-rounder, he can win you the game from somewhere. Hardik is the fast bowling all-rounder, he can win you game from anywhere. And in bowlers again, almost everyone is a match winner or is trying to be a match winner. Every single person is taking their responsibility. There are more than 4 or 5 captains in the team, and they are leading their home franchises very well. In Samson, Pandya, Bumrah, of course Sky, and even Akshar Patel. It is incredibly tough for such personnel to have in your team and then lose the game. It is a thing that has polished itself over the years, and the world is just beginning to see the results of those systems, those feedback improvements, and those marital decisions. It is no strange thing to happen. This could have happened a few years back, but it has just happened when the IPL has progressed to almost the completion of its second decade. As far as New Zealand is concerned, they were underdogs coming into the final. Although they had a hell of a game in the semi-final against South Africa, but that proved to be a one-odd game. Tonight, New Zealand left far too many holes for the final. Mitchell Santner as a captain had one of the worst nights I have ever seen anyone captain their team. Almost all of his decisions backfired on him. Started as early as the third over when New Zealand had 2 back-to-back good overs from Henry and Phillips. There was absolutely no need to let go of the pressure by bowling Duffy or Ferguson. It is understandable that they were just getting their eye in Samson and Abhishek. It would have been perfectly fine if Henry and Phillips would have gone for the runs because that would have been the right decision. Again, Duffy and Ferguson went for 15 and 24 in their overs, and when Matt Henry came back, the only plan that seemed to be in play was to bowl wide of the off stump, slower balls. Not really a game plan. It is a defensive move at best that can prevent some scores, but once the opposition gets to know that plan, they can punish you badly. And the same happened. They just lost their line and length, and they did not come back from that. Again, Santner himself bowled very well, but his role as a captain and a leader was far bigger than that. His bowling changes let India dictate the game on their own terms. It was such a free hand given to both Abhishek and Samson that they raced to the 100, team 100 in no time. And from then New Zealand were always chasing the game, rather they were lagging in the game. The game was already gone as soon as the 6th 7th over. In the end, run scoring was a bit controlled for the 15th to 19th over, but that was made up in the 20th over. This led to India scoring 250 runs on the day, and had those few overs not gone quite, the score could have been around 270 to 80 mark. India is already pushing the limits to 300, and who knows, by the next World Cup 300 would be the new normal if the pitches support that. Right now India has set the benchmark for 250s. The opposition teams have to be ready to chase somewhere in the proximity of 250, and that is chaseable unless you have Bumrah in your team, because if you have a bowler of Bumrah's caliber in your team, you just cannot get those 4 overs away for anything around 30 to 35 runs, and that is nothing in a chase as big as 250. That requires every single bowler in every single over to go for 12.5 runs. Bumrah's balls really become gold dust in a situation that is as complex as this. So till the time Bumrah is in the team, he is fit and firing is at his peak, and there will never be a shortage of batting talent coming through the Indian ranks. This Indian team will be invincible till then, and they will keep on producing. The supply chain in the form of Suryavanshi, Ayush Mhatre, and still there are players of the caliber of Gill, Iyer, Rahul, Pant that have not made to the team, although they are national superstars. But on the day it was Samson, it was Kishan, and it was Abhishek who came clutch. The top 3 scoring 50s at the rate at which they play is just a dream, and that just takes the game totally away from the opposition. And that is exactly what happened. New Zealand tried to come back in the game with Seifert, but Allen was also the key player who had to step up if New Zealand were to have any slight chance of attempting to get close to the game. But that was not meant to be. It meant that Ravindra and Phillips and Mitchell were exposed. Seifert played a very good innings, but a lone hand does not go far in such a big chase. Again, Bumrah absolutely brilliant, took 4 wickets. His first one was one of the more crucial ones. He has bowled 3 brilliant slower balls to Rickleton, Brook and Ravindra. Deliveries that he bowled Santner, Neesham out on were also brilliant ones. There is something about the trajectory of his slower balls that the batsmen are not picking it. It is very surprising for me to see why his faster balls are not getting picked, because even if those deliveries become full tosses or missed yorkers, the batsman can only take 1 on them, and that is where the real genius of great players lies. That they have such a big influence on the minds of batsmen or the bowlers that they miss their shots or their line and length. Same was the case with De Villiers. He was a master in putting bowlers off his length, and similarly Bumrah as a bowler is a master at putting batters off their shots. I've seen this happen with the absolute brilliant players like Kevin Peterson, like Brian Lara, and then AB de Villiers. Even Virat sometimes puts bowlers off his lengths by the sheer presence of his personality on the cricket field. But as a bowler, to have such a big presence on the field is almost unheard of. The batsmen have been afraid of the outswingers, in-swingers, bouncers, yorkers of different bowlers, but when a bowler is bowling even bad balls and they are not even being played well by the batsman, that is what means that he has completely started to live in the heads of batsmen, and that is not some opposition on some day. It is against every opposition on every single day in every single game, whether it is an IPL, T20 cricket, one-day cricket, and Test cricket. That is Bumrah at his very best, and nobody has answered to Bumrah. This is what Bumrah has transcended to, and it is an honor and a privilege to see a great bowler at the peak of his powers. Long may he bowl that way. Again, Akshar Patel, removing Finn Arnold and Phillips, was clutch at crunch moments, and definitely everybody else played their part as well. Ashdeep started very well. His control of string in the starting hour set the tone really well, I think. And captaincy of Surya Kumar was absolutely brilliant as compared to Santner. Santner had one of the worst captaincy performances that have been seen in a long time. Every single move that he played reflected a defensive mindset, starting as early as the third over and going up to the 15th over. His team tried to pull the match back at the later end, but unfortunately it was a bit too much. That has gone India's favor, so they could not do it. In the end, it started from captaincy, affected the bowling, and spread to batting. So it was a nothing game from New Zealand, and India were far better than them on the day. New Zealand had to put their best game, but I think that they put forward their worst game in the tournament, and that made the final really one-sided. India, hats off to them. It is a great night in India, of course, and Ahmedabad was looking as brilliant as ever. In 2024 World Cup's victory felt like a relief, a breakthrough. 2026 World Cup victory feels like just another win in just another tournament, and I have a feeling that it will go like this for the near future. The star players in Rohit, Virat, Dhoni, all those have left footmarks that the younger generation is following brilliantly well, and they will keep on doing brilliantly well because their systems are impeccable. Their talent, of course, was irreplaceable. They have the best talent factory in the world, cricketing talent factory in the world, and the future seems really, really bright. As much as the Pakistan cricket future seems dark, Indian cricket future seems far more bright. And I think there are lots of lessons that Pakistan cricket can take from the Indian cricket, and we must take them wholeheartedly. Today belongs to India, and I think the next few years will as well.